Hi there, my name's Tony. Today it's mid-August. I'm here in western Pennsylvania and I'm checking out a deadly poisonous plant that has a fruit that's often quite overlooked. It's called the mayapple. So these are mayapple plants. The scientific name is Podophyllum palatum. Podophyllum meaning foot leaf and palatum meaning shield-shaped. Now this plant is also called the American mandrake, ground lemon, raccoon berry, devil's apple, hog apple, or umbrella plant. You can see why, since it looks kind of like a small umbrella. They tend to grow in large clusters on the forest floor, but at this time of year it's hard to find too many in decent shape as they've kind of deteriorated a lot at this point. They have 1 to 2 leaves per plant, with the 2-leaved plants tending to be the ones that develop a flower, a single flower, and a single fruit, which develop at the fork in between the 2 leaves. They also have 5 to 9 lobes per leaf. So mayapple plants are extremely common in the eastern United States and southeastern Canada. If you've ever gone out into the woods in these locations, you've probably seen them. Now, they're commonly found in deciduous woodlands with rich soil. The plants emerge in early spring, and when they first come up, they look pretty odd, kind of like a spiral-capped mushroom, almost. They tend to flower in May, and here in western Pennsylvania, they've been fruiting in August. Right now, the first ones have started to fruit in mid-August, so probably mid to late August. There can be 1 flower per plant, and each flower has 9 waxy white petals and is usually 1 to 2 inches in diameter. The fruit tends to be egg-shaped and can vary quite a bit in size, although it's usually around a couple inches. It looks a lot like a small lime, and it starts off green in the spring, and once it starts to ripen later on in August, it goes from green to a pale whitish cream color and eventually a full yellow when it's completely ripe. The fruits are most famously eaten by box turtles, which are their primary seed dispersers. They seem to have a nose for these fruits, although they can also be eaten by several other animals, including squirrels, mice, chipmunks, deer, raccoon, opossum, fox, and bears. So like I said before, this plant is quite poisonous. Every single part of this plant, apart from the fully ripened fruit, is toxic. So the symptoms of mayapple poisoning include nausea, vomiting, inflammation of the stomach and intestines. It's a powerful laxative, and of course a strong enough dose can kill you. The Native Americans actually used this plant to commit suicide, which to me sounds like a very painful and messy way to kill yourself. The plant does have several medicinal properties to it. It has been used as an emetic to cause vomiting. It's been used as a strong laxative. It's been used to treat warts, and a certain chemical in the plant called podophyllun has been used and is being studied to treat various forms of cancer. So the fully ripened fruit is edible and apparently quite tasty, but just the pulp of the fruit. The rind and the seeds are inedible, potentially toxic. So you have to be careful if you try to eat this. The ripe fruit, from what I can tell, has been most commonly used to make jams, although it can also be used in pies, cakes, custards, drinks, and pretty much anything that a lemon can be used with. So here's an example of a fruit that isn't fully ripe yet. It's still a light green on this side, where the other side is kind of a pale yellowish, kind of whitish color. So you want to wait for these to, they'll go from green to a light green to a pale kind of creamish color, and eventually a full nice yellow color. Okay, so it is notoriously difficult to find fully ripened Mayapples in the wild because animals tend to get to them before you ever have a chance. But I have heard or read that you can pick them when they're getting close to ripe and bring them inside and set them on a kitchen counter or something, and apparently they'll ripen on their own, but I've never tried that. And I've never tried this fruit in general, so this will be my first time today. But anyway, there used to be a patch right behind me here, and all the leaves are gone at this point. They've kind of deteriorated, but there are stems still here with fruit attached, and you can see that I've put some red netting over these fruit in order to keep the animals away from them, and apparently that works. I didn't think it would work, but it did, so I'm pretty happy about that. There is one fruit over here. It doesn't have any netting and it's still attached, but it's not close to ripe yet. This mayapple fruit, however, is fully ripe. Let me pick this so we can give it a smell. So another indicator for it being fully ripe is that it'll be quite fragrant. And this is very, very nice smelling. It smells, to me, a lot like Concord grapes, though it has a very tropical scent to it too. Almost like kind of like guava or passion fruit, kind of a mix of different fruits. That's what I'm getting from it. And this one's a fairly big size. I mean, it's almost as big as my big old honking Dago nose. But hey, you know what they say about guys with big noses, right? Sinus issues. Yeah. Okay, let's go taste this thing. Alright, so here we have it. This seems to have browned up, gotten bruised a bit wherever I touched it, but it smells really good. Let's just cut into this thing. Now, anytime you try a wild edible for the first time, you want to make sure that you only taste a little bit, just to make sure that your stomach agrees with it. Right, so here's the inside. The white stuff is the pith. The edible part, the gelatinous stuff, is the pulp that I want to eat. Although there are several seeds in here, I'm going to have to pick them out. Oh my god. It smells so good. Okay, so inside it smells really good. Kind of lemony passion fruit, guava, Concord grape. It smells really tropical. It's supposed to taste somewhat similar to lemon or passion fruit from what I've heard. I don't know. Some sites say it's pretty flavorful, some say it's bland. We'll find out. Anyway, here's a scoop of pulp that I'm going to try here. Oh, yeah.
Oh, these
Mayapples.
put that
Mayapple.
down now.
It's pretty good. It's definitely lemony. Yeah, tastes a lot like a mixture of lemon and passion fruit. It's, it's kind of sweet. Maybe on a 3 on the scale of 1 to 10, or 0 to 10. It's also a bit tart, but not too tart. It's very manageable. Not nearly as tart as a passion fruit usually is, or a lemon. But yeah, it tastes fantastic. I can definitely see why anyone would want to make this into a jam or any other type of dessert. It's very good. So that wraps up my video on the Mayapple. I hope you enjoyed it. If anyone out there is feeling particularly adventurous and edgy, want to live life on the edge, try out the Mayapple. Just do it with caution, and hopefully you can find them. Anyways, I'll see you next time. Oddly shaped, I missed it, spiral-shaped greenish mushroom. I could have phrased that better. Really good. And do it with caution, because it is poisonous if you don't get it fully ripe. Anyway, what was I going to say? Apparently anything... yeah, feeling edgy. Because I'm fucking edgy McEdgelord over